Thank you. Thank you for having me and joining me today. So, as you've heard, I'm Elyse Allum, Associate Marketing Manager at Hort Innovation, and in my role, I'm responsible for levy-funded marketing activities which help drive demand for Australian green life, or the Australian nursery industry as we call it. So specifically today, I will just give a quick overview, if you don't know, of who Hort Innovation is and our role in nursery marketing. I'll then provide a top-line history of where we've been with our marketing campaigns and how this has led us to where we are today. And then, as Tim has said, finally, we'll take a look at our current marketing plan, highlighting that recent consumer activity, the Plant Value Report. So firstly, by way of introduction, Hort Innovation is a not-for-profit, grower-owned research and development corporation responsible for advancing Australia's $17 billion horticulture industry. And we do this through investing grower funds directly into research and development, marketing and trade initiatives. And today we'll look at specifically how we invest grower funds into marketing initiatives to support the nursery industry. And so our marketing activities, when we're looking to develop a marketing strategy, we look to three key guiding principles. So firstly, data and insights drive all of our decision making. We review a robust range of different data and insights to help us identify where the challenges and opportunities are for the nursery industry and how we can help support these through different marketing initiatives. We also work with research partners to then measure the impact of all of our marketing campaigns to really ensure that we're driving results for the industry and delivering value for the industry. Secondly, we work very closely and collaboratively with our industry and growers. So we have industry representatives who sit on what we call a marketing committee. We meet with them annually to develop collaboratively our marketing strategy. Together we'll review all these data and insights, develop our marketing plan and the activities that sit within it. And then we also have regular check-ins with them following this workshop process as well. So this is where we like to hear from them on what they're seeing in the industry, as well as provide regular updates on how our marketing's tracking, what's performing well, anything that we're pivoting. And then finally, we partner with a range of experts in our agency partners to deliver and execute our marketing campaigns. So these are really the people that make sure we have the right marketing activities in the right place, so on the right channels and at the right time to, again, really ensure that we're delivering impact and driving value for the industry. So I'll now take you back to 2013. And this is the introduction of our 2020 vision. A bit of a mouthful, but the objective of this program was to increase and improve Australia's green urban spaces by 20% by the year 2020. So really the objective of the campaign was to bring together government, developers, communities, and to give them one unified and common goal to work towards, which was the need for more green spaces in our urban communities. So the program was live for approximately 8 years, and through this time we were able to generate a vast amount of activity, including influencing research and development activities, as well as awareness and demand driving activities, policy, and then most importantly getting actual plants planted in the ground. So some key highlights of this campaign throughout the 8 years included we created a network of over 7,000 individuals and organisations, which was the world's biggest green space advocate network. We engaged and collaborated with over 5,000 people across the country, which included all local government areas in Australia. We launched the Urban Greeners Resource Hub, which was really where urban greening professionals could log on and get a range of different resources, tools, case studies to help them in applying in their urban greening strategies. We created Australia's first benchmark measurement of urban green space. So this measured green space in all 139 local government areas across the country. We created a second benchmark report called Where Should All the Trees Go? So this used a vulnerability index scale to look at where the green cover was across the country, but then identify the states and councils most at risk of things like urban heating, and then to provide those councils with the tools and resources that they could implement to help mitigate that risk in the future. We trained over 80% of Australia's urban councils in how to implement an urban forest strategy, generated over 1,300 stories across media and within our network, and we were also named the #1 leading sustainable cities program at the Banksia Awards at the time. And one of the key and most exciting outputs of this program is that 88% of local government areas in the country now either have or are developing an urban forest strategy. And this is up from only 7% of them having it when we launched the program back in 2013. So a really exciting output, and again demonstrating how we're working with those councils and government to get actual plants planted in the ground. Fast forward to the year 2018, so simultaneous to that 2020 vision happening in that supply chain government space, we recognise the opportunity to also be speaking directly to the end consumer. To do this, we launched Plant Life Balance. So this was a consumer-focused program which looked to educate and inspire consumers to add more plants to their homes and their lives. So this had a range of activity across social media, public relations. We held different events with consumers. We had the Plant Life Balance app, where consumers could log on, take a picture of their home and space, and then style it with plants to see what plant might suit their space. We provided consumers with a range of resources, education on what plants might work best for them, whether they were looking for pet-friendly plants or how to grow flowers, edibles, how to stylize indoor plants. We leveraged existing research at the time. So at the time there was a study into the impact that plants can have on improving indoor air quality. So we really turned this into a consumer-friendly message to amplify it across our channels and give consumers another critical reason to be adding plants to their lives and their homes. We worked closely with retail nurseries, so we had a website where consumers could log on, put in their postcode and identify the closest nursery to them so they could go out and purchase plants. We also provided a range of education in this space too, including different plants and that could speak to different gardening level experiences, so consumers could identify what plants may or may not work for them depending on where they're at in their gardening experience. We then of course reached the year 2020, and it was time to decide what the future was of both the 2020 vision and the consumer marketing program moving forward. And while we'd made strides in both the 2020 vision and Plant Life Balance, we recognised that they were two very separate audience groups, objectives, messages, and we saw the opportunity to be able to really merge these into one consistent and unified brand that could be relevant to no matter who we were talking to, the government, the industry, supply chain, consumer. So in 2020, we launched Greener Spaces, Better Places, and this is now our hero brand that we use to represent the Australian nursery industry in all of our levy-funded marketing activities. So I'll now take you through our current marketing campaign, Heroing This Plant Value Report activity that went live. But as I mentioned, we look at a range of data and insights to inform all of these activities. So I'll just provide a quick snapshot of just some of the data that we looked at, which has informed both our current marketing plan, but this Plant Value Report activity as well. So firstly, we start by looking at the whole market, its size, its growth, its structure. And what we saw is that the Australian green life industry wholesale market was valued at about $3.4 billion. This was slightly down versus the year prior, but it was actually sitting ahead of pre-COVID levels, which really indicated to us that the industry is strong over the long term. We then looked to understand where this growth is and isn't coming from. And what we saw is that retail continues to dominate the supply chain. So they were sitting at 41% of the wholesale market. This includes your garden centres and nurseries, but also big box retailers like Bunnings as well. But where we actually saw growth was in the landscaper audience. So they were now sitting at 15% of the wholesale market, which had jumped 7% versus the year prior. So a real opportunity for us to be speaking to that audience as well. In terms of opportunities and challenges, as we saw, there's an opportunity with the landscape demand. Also, consumer gardening continues to be an opportunity, while production costs and labour shortages were the top constraints for the industry. We then looked to zoom in on our our consumers, to understand what they're doing, how they're feeling about plants, what they're saying. And what we saw is that consumers have reduced both their frequency and spend on nursery products, which is really, as we've heard, being driven by that cost of living pressure that everyone's feeling on their budgets. Despite this, they actually indicated that they were feeling, cost isn't actually my top barrier for purchasing plants anymore. And consumers said that a lack of interest had actually jumped up to their top barrier. So this is something that's key for us to, address with consumers, get them excited about plants, get them, show them how they can use plants and how they can benefit them. In terms of growth opportunities, confidence and gardening skill gaps are still evident, and there's an education piece that needs to be done. So around half of consumers in Australia indicated that they're not confident in choosing and caring for plants. So we really, through our marketing initiatives, need to show how easy it is to add plants to your life, to maintain them and add them to your spaces. So through data and insights such as these, we develop our marketing plan collaboratively with the industry, and it's split into two key areas of focus. So firstly, we have our Inspire and Educate pillar, and this is largely where we're talking to the end consumer. So we have a range of different activities live and in development under this pillar, including a School of Thumb educational series on YouTube. So this is where we've worked with growers and horticultural experts across the country. They'll hear from real consumers what their real challenges are in their homes, and then are able to respond to these in these videos to help them overcome those barriers. We have social media activity across Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, ensuring that we're reaching across all target demographics. And then we have public relations activity, and we'll have a look. This is where that plant life value report sits, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. Our second pillar is our Connect and Equip pillar, and this is largely where we're looking to speak to anyone in the supply chain, whether it's government, industry, retail, landscape. So within this pillar, we have a range of activities, including a LinkedIn group and regular emails which go out targeting the whole industry and supply chain from government right through. We have regular event attendance and additional industry comms to ensure we're feeding back to the wider industry and growers on what we're doing in the marketing space. And then, as we saw the importance of the landscaper audience, we'll have a campaign going live at the back end of this year looking to directly speak to that group. And over the coming weeks, we'll also have activity launch in retail campaigns. So we're working directly with retail nurseries to target consumers while they're in store to again educate and inspire them to purchase plants while they're there. So we'll now take a look at our public relations campaign, the Plant Value Report. So as we heard through that data and insights, so lack of interest is a key barrier that we need to be addressing for consumers. And this was actually followed by things such as the consumers don't consider their space to be suitable for plants, or their space too small for plants. So we really saw an opportunity to develop a mass-reaching public relations campaign which highlighted the key strengths and benefits of the Australian nursery industry to put plants front of mind, hero their benefits and help consumers overcome those key barriers. And when we took this idea and this research away, we identified that there's actually a key ownable strength for the nursery industry versus any other horticultural industry we might work on. And that is that for years, plants have been praised for adding value to homes. The industry has known this to be true, but it's been largely anecdotal until now. So we partnered with Domain Real Estate, who are one of the top 2 online real estate platforms in the country. And together we reviewed sales data over the last 12 months across houses, smaller dwellings such as townhouses and units, to really understand and quantify how having greenery in and around the home can help boost property value, selling speed and also buyer engagement. And through this review, we developed the Plant Value Report. So this is that data-driven report which really quantified how plants can truly add substantiated value to your home and your lives. So there's some exciting statistics that came out of this research dip, including that houses with greenery sold for almost 17.5% higher than houses without and attracted 7% more buyer views. Units achieved almost 16% higher prices and typically sold 3 days faster. And regional houses actually saw the strongest relative uplift at 24%, which is largely driven by the outdoor living and established landscape gardens would really driving that value. So to bring these fantastic statistics to life, we partnered with 3 key hero ambassadors. So we had Neil Whitaker, who is a design expert and TV personality in Australia. He features on different design and renovation programs such as The Block or Love It or List It. We had Dr. Nicola Powell, who's Domain's Chief of Research and Economics. And then we had Wes Fleming from Fleming's Group, who was our grower spokesperson for the campaign. We always want to be working closely with the growers and the industry, amplifying their voice, and we know that the media loves to hear from them as well, so he helped to really provide that authentic grower voice to the campaign. So each of these ambassadors helped bring the report and the campaign to life through different media interviews across television, print, radio, online, and also promoted across social media as well. We then had a range of different creative assets developed as part of the campaign. So we had hero imagery of a range of different plants, indoor, outdoor. We had a shoot with Neil, and then we had this infographic summary of the key report findings, which really made it simple for us to share across our platforms what the key statistic findings were, but also made it easier for media to be able to share across their platforms and nurseries as well. I have a little video, I'm not sure if it'll play.
Did you know greenery in homes can influence buyer engagement and help boost property value overall? Data from Domain shows that properties with greenery can generate more listing views than homes without. Whether you're looking to sell your home or not, there's something magical about the way plants can transform a space. Whatever space you have, anyone can style their homes with greenery. Here are my simple tips.
Just a snapshot of one of the Instagram activities that we had live with Neil as part of the campaign. So through all of this activity, we were able to generate fantastic results. So overall, we had 521 pieces of media coverage live, which was across top tier channels. We had live interviews on television, morning news. We had online, print, social media, and we were able to reach or have our campaign seen by 20 million Australians. So to Mike's point, really building that awareness, getting our nursery message out there in front of Australians, making it top of mind and giving them critical reasons to buy plants through highlighting the benefits and true value that they can add to everyone's lives and homes. So just to conclude today, keep an eye out because there's more to come. So the current nursery marketing plan is running right through to the end of June next year, and as I mentioned, we have a range of activities still in development. We're looking to see how we can build upon the plant value report and continue to amplify its findings and continue our partnership with Domain. And as mentioned, we'll have retail activity live over the coming weeks and a landscaper activity live at the back end of the year. Now I'm happy to take any questions, but also happy for you to reach out at any time as well.